WCUR, you're live.
Hi, I'm Seamus Haji, and you're listening to Daniel Love Radio on WCUR.
What's going on, man?
Everything's good, man. I'm just in the studio at the moment, working on some stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to call, and I guess there wasn't a good signal or something. I couldn't get to you, and I wasted like 5 minutes already. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's just in the studio. It's a bit of a funny connection, so I'm outside the studio now.
All right, let's get into the interview. You started when you were 16 years old. What made it happen? What sparked you to do this?
Well, it was kind of then. It was back in the mid-'80s, so it was very much about the sort of the art of mixing. So back then, you had people like Grandmaster Flash, you know, Tony Humphries, people like that, and I used to listen to their mixtapes. I used to get mixtapes from Kiss FM in New York and WBLS from friends of mine, and I remember hearing it, and it was just just being amazed by the mixing skills of these DJs, and that's what got me into it.
So, what was your moment at your young age during this time where you realized you're going to make it and you're going to become DJ Seamus Haji? What was that moment? Is there a moment, or?
I'm not sure there was a moment, actually, but I can remember I did get a break. At the age of like 14, 15, I've been practicing. I taught myself how to mix and scratch. And we used to go to a lot of sort of illegal house parties. And I went to one, and these guys were playing, and they had, back then in the mid-'80s, you know, Technics SL1200s were quite expensive. And they had them, but they couldn't mix. And my friends went, you know, can you let our friend go on? And I went on, and I obviously impressed them. And then I ended up joining this crew that used to do parties and warehouse parties and things like that. And it just went from there, really. I just sort of joined this crew, and at the age of 16, I was with these guys that were all in their sort of mid-20s. And my role was to mix and scratch. And back then it was like very, very early house music, a lot of soul, funk, hip-hop. And it was, as I say, it's just when house music was first emerging. And I don't know, I guess I just kept doing it. And luckily one thing led to another.
Wow. What was is there anyone that you worked with that's been special to you so far? Is like there one person that's like, wow, you know what, I liked working with him?
Well, obviously I've worked with a lot of people regarding remixes, loads of people. I guess I've worked with some vocalists like Beverly Knight in the UK, who's really good, Robert Owens. You know, it's crazy because someone like Robert Owens, I grew up listening to his records, you know. So that was quite amazing. Another guy called Roachford, he used to be a big pop artist, big pop star in the UK. He's got another great voice. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I'm in the studio. I'm working on, I did a remix recently for Scissor Sisters, and Jake was so impressed by the remix that we're actually producing a track for their album at the moment. And, you know, on a pop level, I really rate, from the first album that Scissor Sisters did, I really rated it. So that's kind of surreal to be doing something for them. Hopefully it will work out.
One of the songs I have, someone that's a fan of you that wanted to ask about the Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. How did that come about? They wanted to know about that. As a fan, he just wanted to know. It was just so good, and I heard it, and I was like, wow, this is really good.
Well, when I was growing up, I can remember listening to the radio, and that was one of those records. When it was out the first time in the 80s, I remember hearing it, and it was a really good record. And it went from being a club record, it did eventually turn into a pop record. It was so popular. And I had the 12-inch, and it just happened to have an a cappella on the B-side. It had loads of tools. And back in the 80s, I used to use it. I used to mix and scratch and use the a cappella. And I just happened to come across it probably back in 2004. And I had an idea, and just then there was a lot of electro house was coming through from Germany and Italy, and I was getting inspired by it. And I had an idea to just do a new version, but I literally just did it to play out.
Wow.
And then I had an idea of pressing up some white labels, and we did that, and then it just snowballed from there and ended up, you know, getting signed to Universal in the UK, and yeah, went in the top 15 of the pop charts. So I never really anticipated that.
As far as your buzz, I'm not sure how it is in the UK, but how is it in America so far? Because I know, like, around like Westchester, your name became like huge. That's how I was like, I need to DJ this guy, because people were telling me, oh, if you can, man, we'll definitely listen. So how's it? Is it getting better in the U.S.?
I think the scene is really picking up in the US now. Yeah, I mean, I know a few people, DJs and producers in the UK, have actually gone to live in America now because it's such a good scene there. And also, I mean, I was doing a tour in Argentina a couple of weeks ago. It's great out there. Brazil as well. I think, you know, South America and America, I think, are really going off right now. And I think a lot of the sort of Baltic states, you know, in Eastern Europe and those places, the scene was really kicking off about 5 years ago. And now I think it's America's turn. So I think America has finally started to embrace dance music on a big level.
Speaking of which, there's like way more house and dubstep parties that are just going all over America. You're starting to hear it in commercials. You're starting to hear it in movie intros when they're playing them as a preview. And then just what's next in store for you? What's in the future for Seamus?
Well, I'm just working on, as I say, I'm getting more into doing productions. I've got a lot of my own singles coming out. Got a single coming with Seven Fisher called I Love the Music, with Strictly Rhythm, which comes out in a couple of weeks' time. Got a single for Chris Lake's Rising label, which I've done with a new guy called Nelsky, and we've done a remake of Chemical Brothers' Hey Boy, Hey Girl, which again is just something I did. I did a bootleg in the summertime that I was playing at big festivals and just kind of thought, hey, let's do a new version. And then also just getting more into producing for other artists. I've got the Scissor Sisters thing going on and looking at pitching tracks to just bigger sort of artists that are more in the pop area, basically, because it's good to do stuff. I like to spread my wings, and it keeps me inspired. Right. That's what keeps me going in the dance world.
So the producing, did that just come through the years? And I mean, it sounds like you're doing really good with that. Does it feel like work when you have to incorporate all the things you do? Is there ever times it's like, well, I just want to go back to making people dance and DJing, or is it just a good mix?
Yeah, I think it's a good mix. I think because the DJing is, you know, it can be tough. You're traveling a lot of the time. The touring and that is a big part of it. And I feel inspired when I make music, and then I like to make music and then test it out in the clubs. And it's a reason why I like doing a lot of remixes as well, because I actually can get to work with different artists in different areas, and that inspires me. So, yeah, you know, I think for me the future is getting more and more involved in producing, and I guess producing for other people. And right now I'm still happy DJing, and I still like making dance records. I still love doing remixes. So I'll just keep on doing it if I'm enjoying it, you know.
What's one thing that a lot of fans don't know about you? If we can get it out on the air right now, what's one thing that a lot of people don't know about you? Maybe something you don't do outside of DJing, maybe like a hobby or something that people don't know about.
That's a tough one. I like to walk my dog. I like to spend time with my family. I mean, I haven't got any dark secrets or anything. I just kind of... Yeah. I think because the music side I'm like a lot of people, that was my hobby, and then that's become my career. So I don't really have any hobbies, you know, like stamp collecting or bird watching. It's just all about music, I guess. And then in my downtime, I like to spend it with families and friends. That's it, really. Yeah.
When will we see you in America next? When's the next time you're coming to the U.S.? We got to get you here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we're looking at a few dates. I know I've got some things coming up in Mexico and Australia and Singapore and Asia. I think I'm going to next. So I was looking. Yeah, I mean, I'm all over the place. But maybe, hopefully, in the summertime. Yeah.
As a DJ, are you required to play top 40 when you go to these, or do you get to play whatever you want? Because I know I went to do something, I had to play top 40. But when I played a song with a Cascade and Skrillex, and they just went crazy. And I said, we need to play this more often. Is that required in other countries? I
think, in all honesty, no, I don't play top 40 records. But I would say that because the way the music has become so global now, because of MTV, you know, you can hear music now by Black Eyed Peas or David Guetta or whoever. It's everywhere around the world. So obviously, a lot of people that go to clubs, they probably want to hear those records. And for me, it's about finding a balance, and it's trying to play maybe some things that are a bit more commercial and have that appeal, but not playing those records. Because there's no point, is there? Because the resident DJ is probably going to play all those records, and it's not going to excite me. So that isn't what I do. And I think luckily, when I get booked to play at clubs, they know what I'm going to do. I'll play some of my productions remixes and then play some other club stuff that I'm into as well. So fortunately not, no.
Last question, before we run out of time. I don't know how much time we have left because of the card. How is there any DJ or producer that you look forward to working with or would like to work with in the future?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm kind of happy doing what I'm doing. I think for me it's more about working with artists. You know, like this thing I'm doing today, working on Scissor Sisters. For me, that's brilliant. That's really inspiring. So it's more about trying to work with different artists. You know, the way that maybe like someone like Stuart Price, Jack LeConte, you know, the way he's ended up producing Madonna and Take That and people like that and Ting Tings. That I find really inspiring.
Okay.
So that's what I kind of hope for in the future. But, you know, recently I've done so many remixes with people like Nicky and the Dove and Rebecca Ferguson and Jessie J and a lot of these artists. You kind of think, I'd actually like to produce something for them. And I think sometimes that would be a good thing, and that's what I'd like to aim for.
I'm playing all three of those guys for you on my show, and because I couldn't pick, so I was like, I'm just gonna play all three. I'll have the time if I do the interview early enough. And it was great to talk to you. We definitely got to keep in contact, and I look forward to see what you do next. Yeah,
of course. We'll definitely keep in touch.
All right. But I really appreciate you giving me the time for this interview. I'm going to put it on YouTube, and I'll send it to you on Twitter.
All right, brilliant. And if there's any, it sounds like you're up to date with most of the remixes and stuff, but if there's any productions I've got, I'll send them over to you.
I'll play them.
Keep you posted.
Yeah.
All right, brilliant.
No problem, man.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.
All righty.
Okay.